They said I joke too much, that I don't fit the mold. But last time I checked, I'm the one still bold.
Welcome to the Heart and Hustle podcast. I'm your host, Homer Hargrove. And in our last episode, we talked a little bit about AI and how to implement it in your business or personhood without really losing your soul. But today, I want us to step away from the tools and I want us to get down to the nitty gritty. And we all have this internal battle that we have this conflict with, whether it's starting business or whether it's even trying to be a better spouse or be there for your kids. It's like the struggle that really follows us, and it's the almost stage. And this is the stage that's really agonizing because it's hidden behind our psychological mentality where you have this full intention of doing something that you value, that you find meaning in, but you keep yourself trapped in this perpetual place of preparation. And it's this place where you are almost ready to do this. You're almost ready to launch that business. You're almost ready to have that hard conversation. You're almost ready to change how you show up for your family, for your kids, for your spouse. And you're constantly on the cliff. You're just right there on the edge where you're almost about to execute, but you never actually step over. And it's not just it's not a problem that's just with entrepreneurs. It is this human problem. It's this form of hesitancy that we all face regardless of whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. And I want you to think about like these massive milestones in your life, and think about the couples who want to have children, but they look at their bank accounts, they look at their careers, they look at everything, and they're like, oh, we're almost ready. We just need to wait for things to pick up. We need to get a little bit more money. We need to get a little bit more house. We need to get a little more mature. And it makes me think about even when I was wanting to get married, and some of the advice I was getting was, well, you need to get more mature first before you get married. You need to get more a house before you get married. Whether it's kids, whether it's marriage, just think about the person who knows exactly what they want to do. You know exactly who you want to marry, but whatever it is, you hold back because you feel like you're not 100% ready yet. You're just not totally secure in every variable to be able to step into this new thing you want to do. And so what do we do instead? We talk ourselves into believing that waiting is wisdom. And don't get me wrong, there's times where waiting is good, yes, but we tell ourselves that researching, planning, analyzing, these are the actions of responsible people. I'm a responsible person, right? But if we're really being honest with ourselves, most of the time we're labeling it responsibility when at the heart of it's hesitation. It's procrastination. It is fear masquerading as a process. And we stay in this place that is research or preparation because it feels safe. And out in the real world, actions have consequences. We have to make sure that we don't have bad consequences because there's things that fail. Maybe this thing that I want to sell, what if it fails? What if my heart gets broken? What if I mess up this kid? And so we stay almost ready, putting off today for a tomorrow that never really shows up. And I want us to pull this down into our personal lives first, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you are procrastinating at home in your execution, you are absolutely going to be doing it in your job or your career path. So let's zone in on marriage, okay? I love marriage. I wrote a book, Forever and Ever. And there's so many times, or say like as a hypothetical, where husbands are out there who play with the idea of being a better husband. They want to be a better husband. They're telling themselves, I don't know how many sit downs I've had with husbands where they are admitting to themselves that they want to be better and that they know they can be better, but they don't. And they genuinely want to. They want to be better. And they're even talking about how their wives deserve it. Their kids deserve it. And they sit at their desks at work. They think in their car, man, I should really just surprise my wife maybe with some flowers or something. And I want to plan a real date night for us. I want to get a date that she really remembers and makes her fall all in love with me again. Just the two of us, no kids, no work, just us. I know that's what she really wants. And they have these thoughts. We get these thoughts. And the intention is beautiful. It is pure. But then the almost stage hits. And as they're driving home, they start talking themselves out of it. They think, well, the traffic's just too busy. This week is too crazy. I left work late. We're both exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. And they remember, maybe they even remember this minor disagreement the night before, and they think, well, last night we had that weird fight. So if I plan a date now, it's going to only look like an insincere apology rather than real love. So I'll just wait until next time till things settle down. See, we find these reasons to hold back, and they let the immediate friction of life override what was authentic and a meaningful impulse, and they remain the husband who is almost intentional, the husband who is almost did the beautiful thing, the romantic thing, while their marriage slowly starves from a lack of tangible results, tangible execution. And again, that's marriage. Let's look at parenthood. We do the exact same thing to our kids. It could be something as simple as wanting to show up to their practice. You want to show up to their practice, or maybe you want to take that. They've been talking how they really want to try soccer, and you want to take them to do that. You want to take them to that new park that opened up, that new place. You want to take them somewhere special, and you have these ideas. Say you have an idea on Tuesday, and you tell yourself, we are absolutely doing that. But then Saturday rolls around, and this is my only day off. You're tired. I didn't get great sleep. I stayed up late because it was a Friday, and the yard needs to be mowed, and you start telling yourself that these ideals aren't perfect. And so you look at your kid and you just say, not today. Next weekend, we will. Next month, we will. And you mean it. You're not lying. You're not trying to trick them, but you end up falling prey to the illusion that time is this infinite resource. And you keep putting off today for tomorrow, forgetting that your kids are growing up in these spaces between these massive delays. And there's never going to be a perfect time or day or conditions. And so almost ends up being the memories that we build. It's realizing that these memories, we could make them the almost, where it's almost perfect, or you could allow the memory to just be messy and chaotic and show up anyway. And now I want us to look at the psychological trap that stops so many people from launching a business that would be great. You could quit your job. You could actually do what you really want to do. But when you are trying to start what this would look like, you're trying to start the new business or the initiative that you have in mind, the easiest thing in the world to do is spend time in that almost space. And let's say it's the lab. It's where we're cooking up what this business is going to be. And you're writing out your business plan, which you should do. You're even reading books. You're listening to podcasts. And you're comparing different tools with one another. You're looking at different software. And you start rewriting your mission statement for the 14th time. And you feel incredibly productive. I've edited the website I'm going to launch 10 times, and now it's almost ready. And you're working at trying to fill your calendar with things that feel productive. And anyone asks what you're doing, you can show them, look at all this time I've spent. I am a serious business person. I'm really going to do this thing. I'm almost ready. If we were to peel all the layers back of busy work, is it really work? it ends up just being this coat for procrastination. And it is this elegant, socially acceptable way to hide from what you're really supposed to be doing. Because as long as you're researching, you can't be rejected. As long as your website is under construction, nobody can tell you your product is too expensive or that they don't want your service. Busy work gives you all the dopamine of being the entrepreneur without any of the vulnerability required to actually be one. And you have to realize that research can have a diminishing return. That perfectionism of trying to make everything perfect, it's going to be paralyzing, and it turns into this like analysis paralysis. You start finding all the reasons of why your idea won't work, so you need to critique it and make it different, and you start thinking all the competitors are already doing it this way, it's better, I need to fix this, and you start getting all of these factors that make it a bad time to start. And I want you to just understand that there is never a perfect time. In hindsight, we might look at moments that could have been better times. We think that, but at the end of the day, there's no immaculate moment. The landing page does not need to look like it was professionally designed. Your logo doesn't need to win an award. If you're trying to just start, your only job in the initial stage is to build a basic landing page or a simple one-page website that clearly describes exactly what problem you're solving and who you're solving it for. That's your baseline. And once that exists, your job is to exit the laboratory and immediately try to step into the arena of real-world execution. You know, it makes me think about me being an author. I now have several books out. I'm working on my next one. And I had been working on my first book for several years, and I always felt like it wasn't good enough. As I would write and write, and I felt like, oh, okay, I'm getting somewhere. But then a couple days later, I would look back like, oh, that was stupid. Let me rewrite that. Let me go in a different direction. And I just kept feeling like I wasn't ready yet, like I'm not good enough. And that validation of wanting to make it perfect, like you put the first thing out like, look guys, it's great, isn't it? I'm professional. And that's almost like what we want to do when we're thinking of starting a business or something. And there came a moment where I had to just step back and look, I need to just put this book out there. Instead of having so much emotion wrapped up into it, I'm going to just put a book out that is good enough to move on. And it was. The first book was Feed My Sheep, a 90-day devotional. I put that out, and whew, what a relief, right? Well, after I finally did it, it really opened the floodgates for me to work on my next book. And I started to, as I continued to practice this idea of like good enough to move on, I started looking back in hindsight, I'm like, I didn't like how this came out. I didn't like how I did that. And to be honest with you, now that I'm on my fourth book, going into my fifth, I look at the first book I had and I'm embarrassed. I tell my wife all the time, I wish I don't even want to sell it anymore. I would rather create a whole new devotional because I'm embarrassed by it. It's not as good as I would like it to be. But thank goodness I put it out there to get started, because if I never put out the first book, I would never be working on my fifth book. And it's just this idea of allowing yourself to break out of the almost stage, even if it's not perfect. You are able to build so much more momentum when you're out of that stage and you're working with actual results. And you have to change how you look at your to-do list. You know, even when it comes to prioritizing your time, when it comes to trying to look at what should you do today for your business, you want to look at what is going to give you the greatest, or rather the most effective immediate results. So when you're trying to simply start, look at your list and just ask this brutal question: which one of these actions from my to-do list will give me the quickest or greatest possible return on my next investment of time? It's most likely not going to be making your website. It's most likely not going to be critiquing your logo. You have to take the quickest, most effective action that can provide immediate, tangible results. And why do we do this? Because momentum will have a snowball effect where when you're sitting still, the energy required to move, it can feel massive. But if you can achieve one small win forward, that win creates a tiny bit more momentum, and that momentum will fuel your next actions. And suddenly the snowball starts rolling down to where you have multiple things that are effective working for your business rather still just working in the laboratory. Even for me today, Tuesdays are really big for me. And when I started this morning, I still have a laundry list of things that are on my plate. Tuesdays are hard for me to knock anything off of that plate because I go speaking at recovery centers. I have a very short window to work on things. And when I woke up, I thought, man, I have these, I have that, I have so much that I could be working on. Some things that are simple, some things that are complex, some things that are long term, some things that are short term, and it can feel overwhelming to think like, oh, what should I work on today? And it could have been me just looking at volume or what would make me feel like I was extra busy today or like I accomplished something. But I just simply step back and look like, okay, let me be extremely focused on what could be the most effective. And one of the items was simply finishing the shirt design, and it was mostly done, and I could simply finish this shirt design and put it out for sale. And it's not a glamorous thing. I love the shirt, by the way, but it's not really a glamorous thing. There's a lot of other things that feel more glamorous than simply producing this shirt. But I realized that even though I could spend this time doing some structural things or something that felt more meaningful, finishing this simple design was a single action that could provide the quickest and most direct return for my investment of time, for my small business, for my self-employment. It was a tangible asset that could generate immediate real-world results when it comes to my business. So I had to just block off all the noise of what feels like could be more meaningful or other administrative tasks for a moment and just focus entirely on doing something that would give me the most effective immediate result. And when you're trying to break out of just hesitation, you have to bypass the complex long-term operational mindset and just hunt for the quick high leverage wins. And for me, that's what it was today. For you, it might not be sitting at your desk right now. It might not be that. It might actually going out and trying to find a lead or trying to make a sale. Perhaps it is just instead of sending out an email saying, hey, just touching base, did you get my last email? Maybe the most effective thing you could do would be to just outright call that potential lead or show up at their office and say, hey, I wanted to see if I could get a face-to-face and try to get some direct results. And you want to just go ahead and make the sale. Focus on making the sale for your business because that's how it's going to be able to be sustainable. If you want to be able to quit your job, if you want to be able to really do this full time, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you need to make the sale. And as we close, I want you to just really look at your life right now and just honesty. Where are you living in the almost stage? Are you the spouse that is almost about to plan a date night for the last 3 months? Stop planning it in your head and put down your phone and just pull out your phone and text your wife, text your husband, and just make a clear reservation in your schedule right now. Don't wait for another week. It's not going to be better for a less busy time. Just make it uncomfortably immediate. And because there's never going to be a time that just fits so perfect, okay? Maybe you're the parent who is almost ready to take your kid on that next adventure. Stop putting off today for tomorrow. Just go ahead and make the commitment. Show up, even if it's messy right now. You are going to look back and you're going to be so grateful that you were willing to put up with the chaos and throw off the almost stage. And if you're that entrepreneur who is almost ready to launch that business or almost ready to make a pitch to that client, step out of this loop of preparing and researching. Stop using busy work as a shield to protect you from the vulnerability of failure. Put up the basic landing page. Define the problem you solve. pick the highest thing, the highest leverage to be able to execute. And before the sun goes down today, just do the effective thing. Make the sale. The world doesn't reward our intentions. It doesn't care about if we almost did something good. We really just need to execute. That's where the reward is. So stop preparing. Again, take that with a grain of salt. Stop hesitating. Just simply start. Just do it. And with that being said, I hope that this was helpful for you today. I hope that this was the push all over the edge for you to just start. Just do it. You will be surprised at your results. And just go out and clear your list. Find the quick return. But until next time, have a great life.
Then tell me why you still watch every move I take. You call me phony, nah, I'm just free. And if you still doubt me, go by my book.